Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my February stats and faves. My last video posted was possibly my last, maybe two before. I don't know when I'm posting this one. But I posted my February wrap up where I mentioned that I read 28 books and I talk in depth about those 28 books. I will link that up above. But here I'm going to talk about my stats and my favorites because had I done it in that video would have been way too long. So here we go. In the month of February, I read a total of 28 books, which is about a book a day. I mean, there's 28 days in February, 28 books, a book a day. I read around 9,215 pages. I say around because some of them were audio exclusive. So obviously those don't have pages, but it was about 9,215 pages total. My average rating was 4.5 stars at the beginning of the month, ton of 5 stars, end of the month, a lot of 3 stars, 3.5, 4 stars. It was not as great towards the end of the month. My genre rating breakdown, I read 24 romance books, shocking, I know, 2 fiction books, women's fiction, 1 nonfiction, and 1 mystery. For the genre breakdown of the romance categories, I read 12 contemporary romances, 4 dark romances, 2 fantasy romances, 1 sci-fi romance, 5 historical romances, and I listened to 13 audiobooks, read 8 ebooks, 5 physical books, and 2 books were multiple read and listen generally. An audiobook and an ebook, or audiobook and physical book. So 2 of those. My top reading day of the month was on the 12th, and I read 611 pages. And I actually read 611 pages. It wasn't audio. My lowest reading day was on the 26th. That was a day that my mom was in town. And I was with my family and I was driving. And so just not a lot of pages were read that day. There was only 28 pages read that day. So that was my lowest reading day. And now I'm going to talk about my top 5 books with 2 honorable mentions. And I will explain why I have 2 honorable mentions because later. But my 5th favorite book, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to do my 2 honorable mentions. My 2 honorable mentions were Getting Schooled by Christina C. Jones. I loved this book. It's a black love, hate to love, student and teacher's assistant, so not teacher, romance, and it's a scarred hero. And it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. It was the first book in the Wright Brothers series. It was my first ever Christina C. Jones. It made me fall in love with Christina C. Jones's writing, and her audiobooks are amazing. And she's great. Like, I cannot wait to read more of hers. And the reason it's honorable mention is because I do like a rating scale, and I had 3 books by the same author. And it's my favorite author, so that's why there were 3 books by her. So on the rating scale, 3 books. So I'm doing 2 honorable mentions because the 3 books by the same author are all kind of in the same realm. And then my other honorable mention is Married by Morning by Kleypas. This is the 4th book in the Hathaway series. This is my 2nd favorite Hathaway's book. My favorite being Seduce Me at Sunrise, which was on my list last month. I'll link that video above. This is Leo and Kat's story. Leo is the oldest Hathaway. He is the Hathaway brother. His story is amazing, like going from the beginning to now, amazing. And then he falls in love with Catherine Marks, who is the younger Hathaway's. She starts out as a governess, but she's more of just a companion as they get going, and she's more of like their friend. And so it's their story, and you learn about Catherine and everything. So this was my other honorable mention. And then my fifth favorite book was The Heir by Sophie Lark. This is the first book in the Kingmaker series. It is childhood friends to lovers, slow burn. It's the slowest burn of Sophie Lark's that I've ever read. But there's still a lot of wonderful steamy times. Once they get going, they get going. But I loved it. Sophie Lark is just an amazing author. Kingmakers is the second generation of mafia people from her. It follows, especially the first two books really follow kids from the Brutal Birthright series. And so revisiting them is fun. You get to see their relationship that they have with their parents. And I love the family trees at the beginning. And so the Heir is Leo and Anna's story. And it's fun. I loved it. And then my fourth favorite book is Snow by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Underworld series by Sophie Lark. This one was fun. It is kind of different because the person involved in the mafia is not the hero, it is the heroine. And the hero is just a boxer. He is kind of involved with the mafia, but he's not a member of the Bratva, the way Sasha kind of is. So, which you have to read it to know. And then my third favorite book from the month was The Rebel by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Kingmaker series. This is Miles Griffin, who is my favorite couple from Brutal Birthright, Brutal Prince's child. Ida and Callum, their son Miles. It's his story with Zoe Romero, who is a member of the Spanish Mafia. And she is in an arranged marriage. Miles just does not give a crap about anything. He doesn't want to be part of the mafia. He went to Kingmakers because it seemed like the thing to do. He doesn't really care. He wants to make his own way. He already has made millions of dollars, and he's a sophomore in college. Oh, he's a junior in college, this one. He is, as Sophie Lark has put it, he is 50% or 75% Ada, 75% Callum. He's amazing, or something like that. I don't remember exactly how she frames it, but he is the best. I absolutely loved Miles so much. And then my second favorite book was The Varsity Dad Dilemma by Lex Martin. This book, I did not know what really it was going into it. I kind of knew a little bit from what I had heard or from what I had read on the blurb, but there's so much more. So much more about it. Gabby lives across the street from the football house, and her enemy, Ryder Kingston, she always had a crush on Ryder, and they kind of had a thing until he just completely dropped her from his life freshman year. And now her brother is living in the football house. She goes there one night during a party because they're being super loud, and it's 4 a.m. and she has to get up and go to work at 6 a.m. And it turns out that there's a baby left on the doorstep, and they don't know who the father is. So it's all about figuring out who the father is and helping that person who is the father learn how to be a dad and how to be a single parent. And it's amazing. I absolutely loved it, and I will definitely read more Lex Martin in the future. But it was beautiful. It was a beautifully written story. I laughed, I cried. I loved it. And then my favorite book of the month, which should be no surprise to anyone, was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I loved being back in this world. I love Bryson Hunt. I have a full-on vlog where I talk all about it. I will link it up above. This is the second book in Crescent City. It's amazing, fantastic. I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with what is a lot of the story. I don't care. I am not a fantasy reader. As you know, I am a romance-heavy reader. So I don't it doesn't bother me. The romance is what I'm in it for, and the romance was fantastic. So, I loved it. I don't even know what else to say that I haven't already said 500 times. Loved this book. 5 stars. Favorite of the month. Will probably be a favorite of the year. But yes, that is all I have for now. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite book of the month was. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!